This is an analysis of a photograph by Lindsay Addario titled Iraqi Woman Walking Through a Plume of Smoke Rising from a Massive Fire at a Liquid Gas Factory. It was taken in Basra, Iraq on May 26, 2003. The photograph shows an Iraqi woman who is searching for her husband, walking through a dangerous environment after the fire. The fire was allegedly started by looters who raided the liquid gas factory and added to the struggles of daily life of civilians after Basra and Baghdad in Iraq had been the location of several attacks. The image was taken during the Iraq War, which occurred from 2003 to 2011. The U.S. went to war with Iraq primarily to remove Saddam Hussein from power, as well as disarm weapons of mass destruction. U.S. officials also knew that Hussein had ties to terrorist groups and was a threat to the United States. Groups in Iraq continued to fight against each other for power, causing the country to be in further disarray. In 2011, the U.S. withdrew all of its troops from Iraq. Here's a map of where Basra, Iraq is located, in the southeastern corner of Iraq. Lindsay Addario is a prize-winning American photographer who travels all over the world, telling stories of people's lives who have been affected by war and conflict. She has done work for National Geographic, the New York Times, and Time magazine. In one of her quotes, she states, "It's hard not to get emotionally involved in this story. Whether you grow to love a place or hate it, you feel connected to the people. I'm in their lives every day." This photograph, taken by Addario, shows soldiers defacing a poster of former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein in April of 2003. Lindsay Addario has won a Pulitzer Prize as well as a MacArthur Fellowship for her work. Her goal is to document through photography what is happening overseas and the effects of American action or inaction on situations where conflict is happening in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Syria, Libya, Sudan, and most recently, Ukraine. She researches the situation beforehand to make sure she is fully aware of circumstances before going to document the scene through photography. Despite being in dangerous situations, Addario continues to go back and photograph what she feels are important images to share with the world. Addario believes that she has an advantage being a woman in Muslim countries, where she has access to women and is able to tell their stories. Getting to know the people she photographs helps her tell a better and more truthful story through her work. The formal element of space shows up in this image as your eye is drawn to the black silhouette of a woman who is walking away from the photographer. She walks toward damaged building structures amid plumes of gray smoke. The empty frame of the damaged building seems to be where she is walking towards, as sort of an entrance to this terrifying scene. Everything is in focus in the depth of field, although things get a little hazy towards the background. The formal element of line can also be seen in this photograph. The angled horizon line draws the eye to the background. The way the horizon line slants at an angle adds to the photograph's effect of chaos and danger. The formal element of color also adds to the overall feel of the image. Though this image is in color, the range of hues is low. The gray plumes of smoke block out any color of the sky, aside from a few peaks of light. The ominous feel is amplified due to the gray and yellow tones, which give a feel of despair and danger, as well as unhealthy air. The black figure is a void in the center of the image, which is what the eye is immediately drawn to as the focal point. Lindsay Addario covered the Iraq War for the New York Times from 2003 to 2004. She says she wants Americans to know what life is like for groups of people suffering the tragedies of war. She also hopes to show that despite the terrible things happening in the world, that she can also capture moments of beauty and hope, which can be seen even in the darkest of times. This photograph is also featured in her book, Of Love and War, which was printed in 2018. It includes images throughout the span of her photography career. The photograph is among images taken from Afghanistan, Libya, South Sudan, and many other countries, and shows the constant struggles of individuals affected by war, yet also shows the resilience among humanity. It has also been featured in many shows and exhibitions of Addario's work, including this exhibition at the New York School of Visual Arts in the fall of 2022. Lindsay Addario's photographs show humanity across cultures, and in this powerful image, we feel for the woman walking through such a perilous environment, who must have been afraid and feeling hopeless at this moment, searching for her husband after a disaster. We can't help but hope that she did eventually find her husband. Lindsay Addario states, "I am trying to convey beauty in images of war as a technique to prevent the reader from looking away or turning the page in response to something horrible. I want them to linger and to ask questions."